I'm a man. What do you expect from me? Well, for over 30 plus years, I've been a part of my wife's life as a man. And so who would better know what kind of man I am than the person who's been with me the longest over the last couple of years. Now, this is dangerous when you ask your wife, what kind of man have I been over the last 30 plus years? And so I'm going to allow her, just like she talked about her 4 kids last week, today she get a chance to talk about a man that's been in her life for the last 30 plus years of her life. So I'll turn the mic over to you, and I'll prepare to either run out to church or prepare to teach.
What type of man have you been?
Let's see.
I think one of the things that I admired most about you was your love for God, your love for your family, your love for ministry, and how you loved people. We would go, okay, we go pull up in front of the house. How soon is his car gonna come around the corner? Where is this man at? How does he know what time we get home, no matter when it is? And we weren't dating at this time, okay? I said, okay. We weren't dating when Ty proposed. We were just good friends. And he came over the house, but we had this conversation, and then he came over the house. He made up a Bible story, because I was a new believer, and and I told him what I believed that God had told me Ty was going to be my husband, but Ty made up this Bible story, and I told him what I believed the Lord had said. Because I thought the man was engaged, because he had told me he was getting married next year, and he had just moved here from D.C. So when you go around telling people you're getting married, you think there's a fiance involved. So we were just friends. So he came over to the house, and he just said, after he had made up this Bible story, he said, we're going to get married, okay, on August 1st. And I said, August 1st? I said, that's Sean's birthday. Good. You can give him a dad on his birthday. We're going to get married. And his spontaneity and his love for ministry, we got married. We were staying in a 2-bedroom townhouse, right? We only had one living area. It was the living room. And I came home one day, and he had a Timothy Ministry logo that actually covered. He had pushed all the furniture to the side, and he was painting this logo in my living room. He had pushed all the furniture, and the logo was probably as big as this curtain back here. And me and Sean was doing like this to get around, because he was painting this logo. That's his spontaneity and love for ministry and his love for people. Another thing that I remember with Ty, 35 years, 35 plus, there's a lot of stories, but this one was Tyus' delivery. I had to have a C-section, and they were ready to take the baby, and I'm laying this way, and he goes, hon, I gotta go to the bathroom. Where's the bathroom? So I said, I don't know. He said, but I gotta go to the bathroom. The anesthesiologist said, Mr. Dan is down the hall, such and such and such. He is hysterical. Another one is baby Ty. The first time we took our first grandson to the beach, the expression on Ty's face when baby Ty, when he first saw the beach and he grabbed Ty around the waist and said, you're the best pap ever. I will forever remember that expression on his face. And when we went jet skiing, it was maybe 10 years ago, how he went from being a man to a 12-year-old guy screaming and cracking up and having a wonderful time. And I say all that, we've had lots of fun times, but when he asked me the question, I've walked through a lot of healing journeys, not just this past one, but a lot. You know, when I was 40, I had 2 surgeries within 6 months, and there's a lot of stuff in between that. But when I think about the type of man my husband is, I know it couldn't have been easy, but he never complained. If he was tired, he never said anything. You know, he just did what had to be done. And this last one, even when, when I was walking through healing from cancer, Lauren and Shelley goes, Pat, we can do some of the appointments so Pastor Ty doesn't have to go to all of them. And he was highly offended. He goes, you are my wife, and I don't need your friends to be going to your appointments. I mean, at the time, I was like, well, okay. But for me, it's like the man for Ty is like, he's fun in the good times. And he's there, and he's fun in the bad times. I mean, because those weren't good times. Those were hard times. And in the midst of the hard times, he goes, we need to find a house so you can be distracted, so you won't be thinking about your healing. We need to find you a house. We need to build a house in the midst of it. And he did most of that. I mean, I picked out some of the things, and he would go back and forth to the place. But to me, that's the part that sticks out the most to me. Just that, you sign up and you say for better or for worse or whatever. But when you have a whole bunch to deal with, and you stick there and you don't quit, and and he's looking at me with them eyes, I'm telling you. But I appreciate it. I really do, because it could not, be easy. And even now, I'll wake you up coughing sometimes and say, this girl. But that's it.
Thank you. Josh, you're one of the younger men in our church, and when you think about manhood, where do you get your information about being a man? Yeah, just hold the mic to you.
Information about being a man. Well, I think first is observing other men. I think I've been blessed to be surrounded by a lot of excellent men. I think that's the biggest way, especially being younger. You have to watch, and if you're watching, you can see how men act with their wives, whether it's at church or if you're at their house. You can see how they act, or just how they walk, and if they're real or not. And you can tell some people that act like this way in public, but when they go home, they're completely different.
Okay. I guess I looked at the teenager. I just looked at my older brother and see how he operated the house, because he was the man of the house. And okay, this is what a man is supposed to do. He's got to take care of the mom, take care of the family, make sure the people are taken care of. I kind of got my base on that right there. Yes.
Okay, good. We got an older brother. We have just a numerous of different men. Thank you. Dwayne. Michael, you're in the maturing age right now. And as a maturing man, where did you get your information about being a man?
Actually, because I didn't have an older brother, the examples I gleaned from examples from the men in church, older men, leaders, elders, as well as from the Word of God. Jesus is the ultimate man's man. And so I discovered very early that being a male is a matter of birth, but being a man is a matter of choice.
I have no idea who you are, so you're going to have to tell us and tell the audience who you are. You put the mic up to your... Yep.
I'm Layman Booker. I'm Deal's best friend.
Okay.
We've been knowing each other for about 25 years.
Are you sure you want to be that? Okay, that's okay. Okay. All right, good. Where'd you get your information about manhood and being a man?
I grew up in a household where my dad was married. I had brothers, but they weren't. I'm saying dad.
Your dad? Yeah.
Dad.
Okay, good, great, good. Thank you, sir. All right, but here's a thought. What if the information you received was wrong? Talking to the man and talking to us today. Then the Lord God formed a male out of what? Out of the dust from the ground, and he did what? He breathed in the breath of life into man's nostril. And man, the man, us, men, we became what? Living beings. So most of us in here know where we came from. We already know that. We know that we came from God. Most men in America and around the globe know they came from somewhere. They came from a creator. That's not the issue today. The issue is the definition. If all our information about manhood and about being a man in the house came from men who may not have known what God's definition for manhood was, then maybe they defined us based on just where they were in life. So let's work on a working definition for men. Now, I want you to say this out loud with me. Ladies, help us today. We need your voice also. Ready? Read. To be a man is to know you are created in whose image? To be a man is to know that you are created in God's image. Look at a man and tell them, you are a man and you are created in God's image, period. The next thing about the definition for a man, you are a man and you know that you are created in God's image, comma, you are what? Unique. Now, I don't remember my coach telling me I was unique. So I would have to put on certain clothes to make people think I was unique. So today we buy bigger toys to say I'm unique. And now we're pressed to pay for something we can't pay for. So tell a man, you are a man. And you are unique. You are a man, and you're one of a kind. When's the last time someone told you you were one of a kind? Were you one of a kind when your daddy was telling you and beating you over your head? Were you one of a kind when your mother was beating you because she didn't know what to do with you? Who told you you were one of a kind? No one told you you were one of a kind. So what kind of man do you become? The kind that fits. When we don't have clear definitions, men, our destiny is determined by our definitions. Who defined you? Thing I want you to see here is that God, I need to know what you expect from me because it's hot out here. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I got a lot of men who called me and said, man, it's hot, Pastor, it's tough. Man, economically, man, it's just challenging. You know, I got guys who telling me they're working 2 or 3 jobs, and they're not sleeping at all. I got guys who tell me, man, my wife don't really appreciate me. I'm doing my best to make it happen, but it's not happening. There's so many hats that men are wearing right now, but the question is, God, what do you expect now? Well, what they expect now is what they always expect. The pressure you're under don't change the expectation God has of you. So you can't change the expectation of God because you got pressure. That expectation stays the same even in the midst of the pressure. Because God never changes. He's the same today as he was yesterday. So when you don't have pressure, he expects the same thing. When you do have pressure, he expects the same thing. The only thing you have to do is find out, what in the world do you expect? Because my definition has not matched your definition. So now that I got my definition together, now let's talk about expectation. Number 1, God expects men to reflect his image in their homes and their world. Hey, God expects me, all right, men, help me out. God expects me to reflect him, period. The next thing God expects from us as men in this pressure season of life, to adjust our attitude and our actions that do not reflect God's image. Now, by yourself, in the room by yourself, turn the football game off. You can get back to it later and sit down and ask yourself the question, Where did I get my information about being a man from? Expect from us, God. God expects man to hear and heed, H2. Hear the voice of God and heed it. Heed his voice in order to help you live to your fullest potential. Tips on how do I do what God expects from me. Number one, man, we have to make Jesus Lord of our entire life. We can't keep areas from our life in our own hands and then expect him to change them. You can't keep your area of hurt in your hands and think he can heal something when he's asked you, could I have it?